Hey everyone, welcome to TSF Reviews. Today we'll be discussing WandaVision episode 6. Now, this was a
Oh,
very
I
fun episode.
mean, I mean, every Marvel classic fan. I mean, I'm not exactly that well versed with Marvel, but even a guy like me could see those costumes, and I was like, wow. I mean, this Halloween episode was just a perfect way for Marvel just to dish out the classic costumes. I mean, Elizabeth Olsen in the classic Scarlet Witch costume. I mean, come on, we always wanted it. We always wanted it.
We
I
wanted it,
mean,
we got it.
we got it. And apparently, I was reading after that, like Elizabeth Olsen herself, she fought production to give her that costume. I mean, I don't know what they were going to go with at first, but the fact that she actually wanted that costume really bad, I mean, it speaks a lot, like how much she's invested in this character. And then you have Vision's classic. Is it called Golden Age in Marvel as well? I'm not exactly
Yeah,
that well
I,
versed with
I
Marvel.
think this is the same thing in Marvel. I'm not entirely sure. I think Marvel also has like a Golden Age, Silver Age as well. But
Golden Age. Yeah. What's more is like Pietro's costume. I was just like, man, if we are getting these OG costumes for them, then probably Pietro is getting something too. And
that
then
would
we see the whole weird horns and I don't know.
That would be amazing. And also, I would love how they managed to like sneak it in, like what exactly they are without saying what they are. Like how Vision is dressed like Vision, like old Vision, but he's like a Mexican wrestler. And Wanda
Yeah.
as
I mean,
Wanda
the
as
what did Wanda say she was?
a Sokovian fortune teller, if I remember correctly.
Oh, right. Sokovian fortune teller. Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. Yeah, you're right. You're right. That's true. And then you had Tommy. I'm just gonna refer to them as their superhero names,
Yeah, because
Speed and Vikan.
I don't remember who's who.
So I kind of don't remember. I always refer to them as Speed and Vikan because I was just hyped to see them at first. I was like, oh wow. I mean, this is gonna happen. So and the fact that Elizabeth Olsen just comes down with the classic suit and she's like, whoever's making that noise, you have to be either really hurt or dead to make that. And I'm like, oh my god, I just can't stop looking at that woman. It's just
Oof.
so beautiful.
Honestly, if I can just get a gif of that after coming down the stairs, I'll be happy for the rest of my life. But
I
completely
think we
unimportant.
can request someone completely unimportant.
Okay,
But
but
dude, did you notice? Did you notice this? Like, Vision in this, he is clearly skeptical of everything. He's like, you know what? There's some weird stuff going down here. And I'm gonna investigate why. And then he goes to do that.
I mean,
And lo and
I
behold,
I found that very interesting, and that I did not expect like Wanda's little domain to be like a computer system. Like you're not focusing on one aspect, so it's just gonna just keep playing in a loop, waiting to be used.
yeah. And it was weird, honestly. It was a bit scary when I first saw that. I was like, oh, okay, this is scary because it's first of all you are talking about Halloween anyway. Anyways, I mean it's not exactly creepy per se, but then you see people stuck in this infinite loop of just keep on doing one thing or the other, and you're like, okay, so maybe it's a particular vicinity or an area of effect around Wanda that things go really well, and outside that, it's like the effect starts to diminish. I mean, you're still inside the hex or something, but the effects are diminished or something of the sort. Like if she's
Ex-
not concentrating on you.
yeah, more or less like that. And it kind of makes you wonder, like, what is Wanda really planning? Like,
Exactly.
I don't know what she is planning with all that. And I know initially she wants to keep a safe space for herself. That was put in previous episodes. But
Hmm.
with how she's handling it, that this is like terrifying in my opinion. Like, what is she actually planning on doing?
True, very true. I agree there. And the fact that she has this obvious obliviousness, does that make sense when I say this? She has this obvious obliviousness that yeah, it's obvious that things are happening, but she has no clue how they're happening, and she's okay with it. She's like, yeah, okay, if it's happening, if it's happening. it's like that obvious obliviousness that she knows nothing, but that's okay with things. And there's a moment I wanted to ask you about. I wanted to draw your attention to that moment.
Sure, sure,
You
sure.
remember there's a moment where Pietro, I'm still convinced he's not Quicksilver. He's just somebody else. I'm banking my thoughts on Mephisto or somebody else, but that's not Pietro for sure. I hope we get a surprise in the finale. But you know how he's mentioning nightmares to Wanda
Yeah.
when they're just talking about their mom and dad and everything, and then the next second she sees him as the dead Pietro. I'm starting to think that it's not Mephisto who's the big bad here. Probably that's Nightmare. You know, Nightmare is a Doctor Strange villain, and long story short, he can induce nightmares or fears of the unknown or whatnot, and pretty much what we have seen happening. I mean, Wanda's seeing a dead Vision, Wanda, figuring out that somebody's trying to infiltrate her reality or something of the sort, and then the dead Pietro. I'm just thinking maybe it's Nightmare who's controlling her, or something of the sort is happening. So either it's Mephisto or it's Nightmare. So I don't know.
I'm
What do you think?
okay. Let me make it as brief and as well simple as I can.
Um,
If it's, I think I feel like this is Pietro, but
hmm.
I think it has somehow, and from her mind, she somehow recasted him. But I don't know, like by getting someone in town to act like him, or somehow opened another barrier to another dimension, and we got the Fox uh, X Men.
Fox Quicksilver in
Yeah,
there.
yeah, the Quicksilver from the Fox X Men series coming in here somehow. Like she opened a new universe, from one of the multiverses. So your nightmare theory also adds a nice touch to
That's
multiverse of madness.
that suddenly makes sense. That actually does make sense because I mean it's kind of like without even because we know in the comics Scarlet Witch has done that before. She has altered reality in so many ways. So there's no stopping her from bringing multiverse into it as well. And we know that she's one of the main characters in the Multiverse of Madness. So I think it may check out like this Pietro could be the actual guy from the X-Men universe, and he's just here. Probably he was just running, and all of a sudden this portal opens up. He ends up in Westview, and boom, he's like, oh wow, I'm gonna go check on my sister or something. So
Exactly.
there you
So
have it.
like just like one extra thing before we officially sign off, like how crazy would it be if one of the end
Yeah,
credit scenes has Magneto popping out of the dimensions?
dude, it would be insane. It would be so freaking insane. Like because Paul Bettany was talking about a cameo, right?
Mm-hmm.
That apparently the cameo wasn't even Evan Peters. He said that cameo is somebody who he has been looking forward to working with. So I'm just like either it's Michael Fassbender or it's Sir Ian McKellen. I mean, the only relationship I can think of with Scarlet Witch is either of these Magnetos. So who's to say?
That would be insane. That would be very insane. So,
Plus another
oh,
point. Sorry,
mhm.
sorry. Just one more point.
Yep.
This Pietro knows that Vision has died before. It's not like your dead husband can die twice. He knows. So I don't know what this character is. It
Oh,
kind of casts a shadow on your this being an actual Quicksilver theory, but the fact that he knows and he openly provokes Wanda about that, I don't know, man. I am just so confused, but at the same time, I'm really hooked on this show, honestly.
very much. Overall, it was a very great episode. I love Halloween special episodes. They're always my favorite in
I
every
did too.
series. And
Hmm.
just one last thing that I will say before we officially sign off. Holy crap, when she increased the
Holy
dome.
shit! Yes, and the fact Vikan was able to hear Vision all the way from there. Vikan had insane power to tap into. He was like, "Oh, Vision is in trouble," and then Wanda just boom, she just expands the entire
Yeah,
thing.
but then
Like,
all I
wow.
can say is Oh, I can't wait for next week's episode. I really can't.
Oh man, it will be. It's so hard to like stay off of social media. Like you have to watch the episode there and then, because social media starts teeming with spoilers. Honestly,
Oh well.
yeah. But
So
anyways, this was a great watch. Honestly, this was a
great
very
watch.
great
I
watch.
I highly recommend it. If you guys have seen the episode, do let us know what you think, and we will see you all next week with the next episode. So in the meantime,
Take care,
see you
guys.
guys.
See ya. Oh God!
Oh
Oh my
God,
God! Ugh.
I can't believe it.
It was Agatha all along.
It
It was
was
Agatha
Agatha
all along.
all along. Hey
There's
everyone.
even a damn song. I can't stop. I can't stop listening to that. Sorry, everybody. We're not having an intro today because we're just too hyped.
Oh
It was
God.
Agatha all along, and that song's stuck in my head, Amar.
Oh,
I don't know what I don't know what to do about this.
I don't care, dude. It's in my head. It's gonna be on loop for the next 3 days at least.
And it's
Oh God.
hardly a little 20-second song, and it's in my head right now.
You gotta love how it
What
like
even?
you gotta love
What
how it
even
like paces with
happened?
the styles that we had so far. That was really good. But
Yeah, true. I mean, and this was Modern Family, right? This one was Modern Family centric, right? Because
yeah, it's like
uh,
more. It was like Modern
I
Family.
got a little bit hint of the Modern Family.
Yeah, it was like Modern Family, The Office, Parks and Recreation has all of that stuff going on with it.
Yeah. True, true. And of course, we're not gonna miss out. Vision's iconic to the camera look just like The Office. I'm just like, oh man, that was gold. That was gold. That was
That
gold.
was good. That was
So
really good.
sorry,
Oh,
everybody. We're
but
just going haywire here because our minds are fried right now.
yeah,
We're just like, where is this show headed?
we did not see this coming. We not, I don't think anyone would have seen this coming, unless you're like a major comic book fan. Uh, technically we
Yeah,
are, but even then we did not see this coming. But you get the idea. Uh,
true. No, very true. Very true. I mean, we start off with Darcy getting inside the hex, and I was just like, damn, man, I didn't want her to get hexed per se, but I was just like, oh man, this sucks. And then we see her as an escape artist, and I was like, huh, okay. I mean, because she was handcuffed to the motor car or whatnot, and of course she's an escape artist now. But thankfully, Vision puts her out of that, whatever the hex trance or whatever that was, and she snaps back into reality. And let's just say Kate Dennings she looks beautiful, by the way. She's
when
a gorgeous, beautiful woman, by the way.
when does she not? Okay, if anything, like just to be a
Yeah,
little
that's
off
true.
topic, she
That's
is
fair.
just to be a little off topic. She is perfection. You cannot go beyond. You
She
cannot
is.
mess with Kat Dennings.
Yeah,
So
that's true. That's very true, honestly.
okay, so now let's talk about some of the major things. Like apart from the whole let's stick with one motive, the office. Let's stick with the office motive because if I name all three of them every time, we're gonna be here a while.
Hmm.
So the whole motif is
Yeah.
actually very good, and this is all like well and good. But then I want to address one thing, which we'll do after we talk about the main things, the interesting things that happened so far. The house glitching,
Yeah.
everything glitching around, like all throughout the little time frames that she's been dealing with throughout this series so far. That was interesting, and having
Hmm.
uh, Agnes be a part of trying to, like the little like nosy neighbor taking a part of everything, like taking away the kids to make sure she has a little nice day off. That
Yeah.
was that added a nice touch as well, but at the same time, you kind of just started seeing all the craziness that goes on in Wanda's head.
Yeah. What interested me was more that her house started to glitch, and the fact that she's having an emotional breakdown. That's why her house starts to glitch. But I mean, I don't get it. Wasn't the whole hex thing the whole reason that the hex is there is because she had a breakdown in the first place? I mean, that's pretty much obvious, right? That she had a breakdown. She went into Westview. We don't know what happened, but pretty much that's eminent. That's evident. Like that's something went wrong. She had a breakdown, and all of a sudden this hex happens, and now she's in depression, but everything around her is glitching. So that leads me to believe that either A, her emotions are interfering with whatever's controlling her, which going back to the previous video where I said that maybe Nightmare or Mephisto is controlling her, those emotions could be interfering with their powers per se.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. What do you think about it?
Well, if I were to come up with a proper theory from my understanding of Marvel's plans, even especially in the comics, um, I think she is slowly losing control. And if I remember correctly, in House of M, she does go a little crazy. I may be wrong. So I think she
Yeah, she does go
slowly,
the whole no more mutants.
yeah. So I think she's slowly reaching that phase. But instead of no more mutants, like no more Westview. Like Westview is not enough.
No more
Let's,
Westview, probably,
yeah.
probably.
So then,
But
one
we
thing,
still don't know why Westview.
yeah,
I mean, we still don't know why this place, of all the places in the world, why this place exactly. What's the significance of Westview here? I mean,
my
I've tried to try to connect it, everywhere, but I just can't think of a particular motive that why Westview for all the places.
my only theory is that it's a quiet place, very few people. Like easily, you can keep yourself away from everyone.
Yeah, but there's so many of them. There has to be a significance of that place for sure. I mean, I don't know. I could be reaching if I said I'm just gonna make a theory here. Then we can just go on to the rest of the episodes. That
Hmm.
probably Wanda did face off Nightmare or Mephisto or any of these entities, similar entities, and their battle sort of ends up in Westview, and they sort of realize that okay, Wanda is this really powerful entity, and they have to contain her in some way, and that's where Westview comes into play. So I don't know. It could be that.
Hmm. It could be something similar to that. Like I don't know, something is popping into my head. Like a certain city would be the main epicenter of like hell or something. Yeah, maybe Westview is the main point,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
she's just preparing for
Fair.
the
That's fair. That's
main
fair.
battle. But okay, now two things I want to bring up.
Yeah.
One is that I find it hilarious. One that people keep stopping the truck that they're trying to use to get to Wanda, Vision and
Oh my
Darcy.
god. That was just insane. I was just like, come on. Like there can only be so many issues. Like, come on, that was frustrating to watch. I mean, I get it, it's there for plot convenience and all that, but it was frustrating to watch.
No, and plus, the funny thing is, this thing happens in real life. It may be comedic, but
It
it may not
does.
happen.
It really does.
Yeah, and the second thing that I found absolutely hilarious that despite the situation, they have time to get Vision out of the truck to sit down somewhere to talk to the camera about what's going on right now.
Vision was even like, oh, why am I talking to a camera again? And he just flies off. He's just like, you know what? Screw this. I
And
am Vision. I can
and the
phase through stuff. I can
ex-
fly.
exactly, and the even more hilarious part, on both aspects, he's flying away, but the main one we're seeing is him flying away from the truck. So what was that scene? What was that scene with the cameras?
Oh my god. I swear to God, that was some other level. Like this is paying homage to all of those shows that pretty much our teens and our early 20s were just passed on, literally.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a perfect homage to that, honestly. And but then, of course, we reached the point where Vikon says something interesting, which got me like, okay, which of course connects later when Vikon says like, "Hey, Agnes, your mind is silent." It's like he can't read her thoughts, and I was like, "Huh, okay." And then follows it up like with the whole going into the lair and finding out that it was Agatha all along.
Ugh.
It was Agatha all along.
It was Agatha all
Agatha
along.
all along. Like, honestly, okay, first thing first, going back to our Pietro theory from last episode.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, that just got flushed down the drain because pretty much we see Agatha was controlling Pietro, or maybe I don't know if he's just a illusion that's created. I'm not sure, but we could see like she was in the background just controlling everything. So I don't know. At this point, is she an illusion? Is Pietro an illusion, or if he is he one of those guys in Westview who she has just morphed into looking like the X-Men Quicksilver? Or worst, if he is Ralph. If he is Ralph, I'm gonna be so pissed. I'm just gonna be not one of the happiest people on the planet, honestly. Like if he turns out to be Ralph, her husband Ralph that she just keeps mentioning,
Holy
I'm gonna be
shit.
so mad about that.
Oh yeah, I agree. If he turns out to be Ralph, that'll be just be
No, 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 no. I don't want him to be Ralph. Although if Ralph in turn turns out to be Mephisto, that's a separate story.
yeah.
Evan
Let's say that.
Peters is cast as Mephisto. I'm okay with it.
Let's see. You bring up a good point. She keeps on mentioning Ralph, and we never see him.
We never see him exactly, and we can see like she's controlling somebody. So, I mean, I don't know if I'm reaching. So, who knows? What can we say?
All I can say is that
So
any and
yeah, it
all.
was Agatha all along.
It was Agatha all along, and because of that, every theory we had went down the drain.
Down the drain. Exactly. I hate that, and I love that at the same time. I'm just like, yeah, fine. Flush down our theories. Don't worry. No problem. It's
Look,
not like
the,
we recorded a 15 minutes podcast just showcasing our different theories and going like, oh my god, we've totally figured them out. And then Marvel goes like, psych.
I mean, like it could. I mean, it could be worse. It could be like a series of podcasts happening in weekly search when actuality is all just on the same day.
Yeah, true. That could be it as well. But we are never sure, is it?
Yeah, like we would never stoop that
Yeah.
low.
Oh man.
So anyway,
Yeah, I mean, come on. We're professional reviewers. We're really professional.
anyway, guys, these are our thoughts of episode 7. Do let us know what you guys thought of the
Yeah,
episode,
and
and when it just remember now,
and
when in
do let us
doubt,
know how many times have you played. It was Agatha all along.
yep.
It
When
was
in
Agatha
doubt,
all along. When in
yeah.
doubt, it
When
was
in
Agatha
doubt,
all along.
It was Agatha all along.
Oh man. See you guys. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Hey everybody, welcome back to TSF Reviews. We're reviewing episode 8 of WandaVision. This episode was so good. We just watched it. It was amazing. I love so many things about this episode. I can't even begin to describe everything I've loved about this episode. I am still losing it. I literally cannot wait for the finale next week. It is going to be crazy. I'm gonna let you talk about some of the things that you like before I start going on this ramble fest about everything I liked in this episode. Take it away, Kanza.
Yeah, I mean, I'm expecting a ramble to happen. But can we just talk about how Wanda saw her own future self when she went near the Mind Stone? I mean, I pretty much lost my shit. I was like, what even are we kidding with ourselves at what we just saw in this scene? I mean, I
I
remember having to pause the episode and being like, before I could take a moment and then go back to watching the
I
episode.
mean, when that silhouette was on screen, like the first thing I noticed, as a matter of fact, was the headdress, the
Yes,
one that Scarlet Witch has in the comics, and the one
yes,
that she had in that
definitely.
episode. Like that's the first thing that came. The first thing I looked at, right? Which is weird because it's Scarlet Witch, it's Elizabeth Olsen. That's not the first thing you think of, but that was just so good. Oh my god, that scene! I mean, everything in this episode was
Yeah, I
just
know.
great. Everything in this episode was great.
It was.
Let's talk about a little bit about Wanda's obsession with sitcoms.
Oh, I am so glad we finally got that connection as to why everything was so sitcom-ish before we just got that beautiful chaos that we saw in that episode.
That was, I mean, yeah, it. I like that connection. Like I mean, I've seen a lot of those sitcoms that were in that suitcase. Like I've seen Bewitched, I've seen I Love Lucy, I've seen Malcolm in the Middle, I've seen The Dick Van Dyke Show.
Yeah.
I love all of those sitcoms so much, and it was just so nice to see that connection. And it makes sense to have that connection because this would be like before
Yeah.
2008, clearly, this early flashback,
Yeah.
right? So it would have been at a time where Stark was still dealing in weapons, and Sokovia is not a rich country; it's a poor country, and
It is not.
they clearly still have VHS cassettes.
Yeah.
Right? They still need like a VCR over there, and like how in Pakistan we had VCRs until like 2005.
Yeah, at least.
I remember buying cassettes in 2002, 2003. So like,
Yeah, pretty sure I still have a bunch of cassettes in my house somewhere.
I mean, that's the same thing. I have a bunch as well. But they were saying it just makes sense. And then later,
Yes.
when the bomb actually lands, and Agatha reveals that oh, you use a probability hex.
I could not believe that. I was like, oh my god, it had to be this dude. No wonder she hated him so much.
It was so crazy, and
I mean,
like
I have goosebumps right now just thinking about that scene. I was like, holy hell, what just happened?
like so many good things. And then we get to see that connection that she has with Vision, like that deeper connection she got while watching Malcolm in the Middle,
Yeah,
right? And it's
it was
just
just,
it was a good scene. It was a good scene, and to see her grieve over the Vision and go to this house that Vision supposedly bought between movies, right? And
yeah,
like let's ignore the fact that 5 years later the house still isn't built, but like, and we finally get the confirmation that Wanda did this. Wanda created this world, and I
yeah.
mean, I'm not
I think we were
discounting.
still waiting for it finding out.
Exactly. I mean, I'm not discounting the involvement of somebody else because a lot of our other teammates have said, okay, Mephisto is involved, and maybe someone else is involved. Who knows? But I just want to say that I've been saying I don't think it's Mephisto. I think this was all Wanda, and this is just going to be
Yeah,
some
me
crazy
neither.
thing. This is just going to be some crazy thing. But hey, I'm ready to be proven wrong. Let's find out next episode. But so many good things to talk about in this episode.
It
It's
was. I
so
mean, it just felt like she was just handling her grief that way, and it was just so amazing to watch her backstory. And I was like, this is making so much sense of so many things we all had questions about from the past episodes, even.
it was just so good. I'm out of words. Like House of M vibes, like very House of M vibes. I'm loving it. The precedent it set already is so nice, and like very comic booky, but also like very realistic in this, as realistic as superhero movies can be. As realistic as
Yeah.
superhero movies can be, and it just felt right. And we're not even talking about like the stuff that happened at the end of that episode, like the Agatha's name drop.
Oh, that was just amazing, honestly.
That
This entire episode was just amazing in general.
oh yeah, 10 out of 10 episode, easily 10 out of 10 episode. It was so good,
Definitely. Easily.
and like the Scarlet Witch name drop. Okay, you're the Scarlet Witch. That was
I almost lost it at that moment. I was like, yes, finally, we are getting something about this.
I lost it at that scene as well, but that wasn't the only time because we had a mid-credit scene, and my God, it was the best
I was
mid.
not expecting that at all.
It was the best mid-credit scene. I love that mid-credit scene. I cannot contain my excitement about that mid-credit scene.
It was amazing for sure.
Spoiler alerts. I mean, if you haven't seen the episode by now, by the time I think this is gonna go up like a few days after the finale anyway, but like White Vision, I am so happy about White Vision.
I know. Oh my god. I was like, not this too. I cannot deal with this in this episode. So much happened. I mean, I was ready to throw stuff seeing White Vision come on that screen.
I am literally
I
going.
mean,
Oh god, it was such a good episode.
bonkers.
It was such a good episode. I literally don't know what else to say.
Same.
The finale is next week, so hopefully maybe we'll get some resolutions and a lot more to say next week. But this episode
Yeah.
was 10 out of 10 for me. 10 out of 10.
Same here.
All
I'm really
right.
hoping for more White Vision content.
Oh yeah, more White Vision for sure. Let's see what happens. Let's see what White Vision actually is. Because Hayward is not a good guy, as we've established over the last few.
Yeah.
That is our review of episode 8. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And thanks, Gunza, for being a part of this episode 8 discussion with me. And yeah, see you guys for episode
Anytime.
9. See you guys for episode 9. Hey, everybody, welcome back. We're going to be talking about episode 9 of WandaVision. What a finale! I loved it so much, guys. Mind blown. What did you guys think?
It was great. Just a bit rushed, but it was great. Perfect. Omar.
I agree with Junaid that it was a little rushed, but most of the things that we got was crazy insane.
Yeah.
Some stuff leave a lot of questions, and apart from that, I still say it's an overall great finale. Man, the comic fanboy in me is just like, it's just like Wiccan and Speed in action. We get to see Photon in action. We get to see White Vision. We get to see
Versus
exactly. Oh, dude, so good. I mean, yes, I have some problems with the episode as well. Like, there are some issues that even I have, like a couple of unanswered questions. And uh, he's not here right now, but Sohaib, if you're watching this, I told you there wouldn't be Mephisto.
if he was still recording, he would have still mentioned Mephisto again.
Oh, no.
Speaking of Mephisto, there was a reference to another devil. I will come to that part in a while.
Yes, I know who you're talking about. Yep, definitely. We'll talk about that in a bit. But let's talk about how great Agatha is as a villain.
I mean, she's the not that great, but still. I mean, the hate comes out for her.
I mean, she had her moments in the beginning. For the final episode, she's not utilized that well. Apart from the fight, as a villain, like as a standard villain, apart from fighting, she wasn't utilized that well in the finale. But when you saw her in action, then she's amazing.
Again, the episode was rushed, so we couldn't blame it on Agatha, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
It was rushed a lot.
I mean, I agree on the rush, but I still feel like despite the rush, it was still like a very cohesive episode. I mean, it did flow naturally, even though like in some places it flew a bit faster, right?
A few places actually.
Yeah, so like I loved the Vision versus Vision fight, right? I loved seeing a bunch of other heroes like Wiccan and Speed that I love from Runaways, I love from Young Avengers, right? Seeing them in action.
Photon.
Photon, exactly. Seeing the Darkhold from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. move to Runaways, move to here. Like,
that kind of stuff. Love seeing it. Love seeing the interconnectedness. The last fight and everything as well. We'll get to, but like I want to talk about the stuff before the final fight and all the reveals that came after. But like, man, it was just so well executed. Like
Yeah, the flow was good.
the flow was great, visually stunning. Wherever the magic just felt like magic, and the callback to Age of Ultron, the ear thing,
Yeah. It was beautiful.
that was like
That was a classic Wanda, actually.
exactly like this episode definitely isn't a 10 out of 10, but like it's easily a 7, 7.5 out of 10 in my opinion. Like
Yeah,
it's
easily.
easily. Right? What do you guys think about the towards the end of the episode where we had like all the big fights and everything?
Okay, so there were a few things which were like seeing Vision versus Vision and the whole memories being brought back and then transferred to the White Vision. The only thing which I don't get is where did White Vision go after having all the
Yes.
knowledges? That's the big loophole which I see in the episode.
Okay, I have like two more plot holes in my mind. Although I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure there are explanations, but they are kind of what bugged me. Uh, before I explain, are we discussing spoilers?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I
obviously we
think
talked
so.
about so many things
Yeah.
already.
Yeah.
Okay, fine then. Fine then. Okay, now the two things I want to discuss. One, uh, when Agatha, I mean, not sorry, Agatha, Wanda, created those runes to stop Agatha's magic. How is she still flying?
Mhm. I mean, the only the on I believe the ruins work on new tricks and new, I forgot the word, the
The
new
new
magic.
spells, new spells.
Yeah, the new spells. Yes, I believe that works on the new spells, or maybe
Yeah,
whatever Wanda wants it to work on. Maybe something which is
but
harmless, it doesn't work.
no, but then again, that goes against Agatha's statement that says that in an area only the witch that casted them can use magic.
Mhm.
So basically, the magic should have been null and void.
The popular opinion is that because chaos magic allows you to create things, it's I think Amar, you proposed this opinion, that theory yourself. That when we discussed it ourselves before we came over here just a few minutes ago, that
Oh yeah.
it
Mm-hmm,
was
mm-hmm.
actually it could have been Wanda giving her the illusion of being able to cast the spells, so that she wouldn't catch on the rune so quickly.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, I remember that, and I agree. In my mind, currently, that is the process that it's the only reason I can believe that this is happening. But again, it's kind of a stretch because again, there's not much evidence to support that. It might have just been a plot hole. We don't know.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was again. If there was like maybe one episode more, it would have been like
Oh,
explained properly
so
in a better
Yeah.
way, and maybe the fights would have
Now,
gone longer.
yeah. Now,
Yeah.
the last thing that I have a question about, till I get to the one thing that bothered me. Now, when Agatha was defeated, she became that noisy neighbor archetype. But at the same
Yeah.
time, Wanda diminished the little barrier around West Side. So what happened to Agatha?
So Agatha
that
was she casted a spell only on Agatha again, not on the whole. So she uncasted the spell on whole of Westview, and she casted a new spell only on Agatha. That's what happened.
yep.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So now the last thing, the thing that bothered me the most. Why would you bring in Pietro and not have it be Pietro?
Um,
Okay. I seriously thought this was a throwback to X Men or something, and this was a throwback to maybe connecting X Men and. Okay, so this I think I should keep it like PG in a way, but I have a
Mm-hmm.
lot of anger in this issue. Why bring Pietro back? when he has absolutely no role in the finale. You could have like casted. You could have made Wu keep the boys inside and stuff. Wu could have done a better job at this.
As a matter of fact, even Asad and I a couple of weeks ago discussed this in our review of WandaVision episode 7, where we talked about uh, the theorizing that, oh yeah, this could probably happen. When we found out that it was Agatha, so we were thinking like, oh, maybe Pietro was someone who is being controlled to be Pietro, and we were hoping that wasn't true.
Well then,
Oh.
This is a whole new topic.
this is something that pissed me off too as a big X-Men fan. I love seeing Quicksilver from the Fox movies because I love Evan Peters as
They
Quicksilver.
they they had a chance. They had a big chance to connect X-Men with Avengers in some
The
way.
the thing is, I feel like I hate the reveal, but I feel like giving us Quicksilver that's that is the Fox Quicksilver just makes it harder.
Yeah, it gives us hope.
It not just gives us hope, it makes things harder because that means that you have to then sign on all of these other actors and actresses who were in the X-Men franchise to do more movies with the MCU, and you might want to recast them, maybe do some better casting, although quite frankly Evan Peters was fantastic casting, but maybe the MCU has its own vision of how the X-Men should work. But Multiverse of Madness, that ending post credit
There
scene,
are a lot of openings. There are a lot of openings in multiverse.
like the only commercial that hasn't been fully discussed yet in the show was the Nexus commercial, because the Nexus is like the gateway of the multiverse, and we might get that like in the Multiverse of Madness.
Wait, isn't the
Point?
Nexus where Doctor Strange fought Dormammu?
No.
That wasn't the Nexus. That was in the Dark Dimension area thingy where Dormammu lives.
Okay, I may be wrong, of course, but I thought it had a name.
No,
So
the Nexus is like this plane in which all the multiverses meet.
okay then. So now let's focus on lots of other things. Okay, let's look at the last two things about this
Before
episode
that,
that we want. Yep.
there are two fun facts. One is
Mm-hmm.
when Wanda grabs Vision's head, and you can see the whole yellow light. That makes sense that Wanda is a part of the Mind Stone, because Wanda didn't feel anything when she went near the Mind Stone, and everybody else, they already focus on the point that everybody else couldn't, like, either died or they, like, went unconscious for a bit. But Wanda was okay. Wanda just felt unconscious and she came back. So that was a hint at Wanda having the Mind Stone in her and having the powers, which brings me to the other point. Making Wanda be a part of the Mind Stone brings the fact that she's even more powerful than the Sorcerer Supreme even in the Doctor Strange franchise. So she has a lot of power, which can be used in a lot of different aspects in the future coming series and movies.
There's
Okay.
literally a lot of stuff in this. There's so much stuff going on that it's really hard to discuss everything. Personally, everything I've talked about, I loved, and I loved the setup for Secret Invasion. I love the setup for Captain Marvel 2. Love the setup for Multiverse of Madness. I cannot wait for Falcon and Winter Soldier coming out in a while. That's the next thing I can't wait to
Yeah, and
see. And it's just like
Black Widow coming out
and Black Widow coming out like in
also.
May,
Yeah,
right? I'm so glad to see MCU stuff again. It's been too long, and that's literally all I have left to say. I love this
I
show.
have. I think you guys forgot the main part of this episode was Wanda being, as we all love,
Oh my god, I forgot to
strange.
talk about that
Oh
entirely.
yeah.
Oh my god, that costume,
Wanda being strange,
that thing, the thing at the end, the new costume, all of it.
and also Strange had time to work on this stuff. Wanda being having no knowledge of this stuff
Mhm.
was pretty or was doing pretty well with all those casts and everything. The technique
So,
which she was following.
well, what do you expect? The book said that she's stronger even than the Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah. Also, the mid credits also when what's her name? Skrull, right?
The
Yeah,
scroll,
Skrull
yeah.
came for Monica Rambeau.
yeah.
So it
Omer
means
just
that
mentioned that.
yeah.
Omer
So
just
it
mentioned
means
that
a lot of
leeway to Secret Invasion.
yeah, a lot of doors are opening. And the last point which I have, the last when Wanda was using the technique of Doctor Strange, she was hearing the voices of Wiccan and Speed, right?
Yes.
Hmm.
That opens a door to the next phase which is coming, Marvel Phase 4, which they can be used as a part of the Young Avengers, and they can be a part of the Young Avengers.
I mean, we have Ironheart and everything happening, so Young
Yeah.
Avengers is definitely something
Plus,
going on.
we're seeing that everything is happening with Hawkeye, like giving his role to the next
Oh yeah,
upcoming,
The
and
Kate
Hmm.
Bishop one,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Thor will have Natalie Portman portraying as the new Thor, and yeah, that's a topic for the different discussion.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's topic for later. In the meantime, I think we should just wrap this up here. These has been our
Yeah,
thoughts for the season finale of WandaVision. Do let us know what you guys thought. Let us know in the comments, and if you want to see us do any other reviews, do let us know.
All right, guys. See you guys later. Good night.
peace. Good night.
Bye bye.